This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning on your Thursday. Welcome in. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope you're having a fabulous start to your day before Friday. It's January 28th.
And now 6:31 is our time, and the latest on a house explosion in southern Kentucky. It killed 4 people, a tragedy in a community where they're remembering the lives lost.
As many as 40,000 fake hoverboards from China have been seized in Chicago.
And the Kentucky Wildcats preparing to battle with Kansas after another dominant win in the SEC.
Looking across the region in the northern zones, here comes a weak disturbance flying on through. This will give us a couple of flurries, couple of flakes. Nothing that's going to cause an issue. But heads up, if you're sitting toward Mount Olivet, Carlisle, Paris, and Millersburg here in the next 30 minutes. Temperatures teens and 20s is cold. Gets better today, but here comes another front later on tonight that'll give us that snow chance. I'll have that in just a few minutes.
Leading our news this morning, it has been a very tough couple of days in Adair County where 4 people were killed when a house exploded.
The victims, that includes a 1-year-old, have now all been identified. WKYT's Mark Barber is on our live desk with more on how they're being remembered.
Good morning, Rebecca. Their heartbroken neighbors met for a very emotional candlelight vigil last night. The discovery of those 4 bodies, certainly a very difficult one for those search crews who looked through the debris around the flattened home for hours, just hoping that they'd find survivors. They did find one person who made it out alive, but 4 others, including that little 1-year-old girl, did not survive the explosion. Now, the explosion has rocked this small rural community that's about 5 miles outside Columbia. During a tearful candlelight vigil last night, heartbroken neighbors prayed for the victims' families. This morning, state police have identified the homeowners as 60-year-old Mitchell Coomer and his wife, Lori. Kinley Rogers, their 1-year-old granddaughter, was also killed, along with Stephen Keltner. He was a friend and an employee. He would have turned 33 yesterday. The one person who survived was Jason Coomer, the homeowner's son. He was in the basement on the opposite side of the home when the house exploded Tuesday afternoon. Neighbors who felt the force of the blast as far as a mile away are struggling with their grief this morning.
I really miss them. They're to accommodate people, nice people. They're really going to be missed, you know.
Something that certainly is not making this tragedy any easier, the fact that no one knows why this happened yet. State police say they are still investigating reports that they may have been working on a truck in the basement when the explosion happened. We're told there are also several gas wells on the property. At this time, though, there are still no answers as to why the house exploded, killing 4 people, ultimately shaking the entire community. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, it's just terrible, certainly, and the community very tight-knit down there, so our thoughts are with them. An employee at a juvenile detention center in Hardin County has been placed on paid leave following the death of a teenager there. The Kentucky Justice Cabinet says the employee admitted to failing to make all of the required visual bed checks on the night the 16-year-old died. Family members identify the teenager as Gina McMillan of Shelbyville. The cause of her death is still not determined this morning. The Justice Cabinet says the employee is on leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
Well, saving lives is part of their job, but during last week's winter storm, 2 Kentucky State Police troopers went the extra mile. Nurses at UK's Markey Cancer Center say on Friday one of their patients needed chemo. But with all the snow, the life-saving drugs were actually stuck over in Louisville.
Timing is everything with these patients because if they miss a dose, then they're off. They could be off days, and days is essential to them.
So with no other options, they called Kentucky State Police for help. Knowing that patients' lives were at stake, the troopers, Chris Martin and Kaylin Hall, took on the task.
So the state troopers jumped in. 2 of them went down to Louisville and brought the chemo back in order to get it here in time for the patient to have the chemo so that we could keep his transplant on track.
Well, Trooper Martin picked up the chemo in Louisville, then handed it off to Trooper Hall in Frankfort. It took 5 hours. UK Healthcare thanked both troopers on Facebook, and the post has received thousands of likes.
Talk about important teamwork there, right? Governor Matt Bevin is wanting to cut the amount of state funding given to Kentucky universities, says he needs to do that for the budget to balance. Now those universities have some tough decisions to make. The governor is using executive action to cut 4.5% from state university funding for the current fiscal year. And he has proposed 9% cuts for the budget that begins in July. 8 university presidents held a conference call with the governor.
He wants to start to move toward a performance funding model for higher education. They didn't get into a lot of detail. He was very open and cordial about the idea that he wants input and feedback.
The University of Kentucky will have to cut more than $12 million between now and June 30th, and UK is now working to figure out where those cuts will come from.
Well, the issue of raising minimum wage for workers in Kentucky will be discussed today in Frankfort. House Speaker Greg Stumbo is scheduled to testify before a House committee this morning in support of House Bill 278. It would raise the state's minimum wage from the current $7.25 an hour to $10.10 an hour by July of 2018.
As many as 40,000 fake hoverboards shipped from China have been seized in Chicago. The boxes stacked almost to the ceiling at a warehouse near O'Hare Airport. The knockoffs say Samsung, but the labeling on them is fake. Investigators say the battery-powered scooters may be dangerous. The popular toys have been banned at dozens of universities and on planes because the batteries pose a fire risk. We've seen some of the universities locally ban them or make rules about them here in Kentucky.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, the Cats were back in Rupp Arena last night, really back to take on Missouri. Didn't take long for UK to jump out to a big lead.
Brian Milam joins us with highlights of the game.
Good morning, everybody. You know, there are times in life you just feel sorry for someone. But last night, the Kentucky Wildcats showed no pity on the Missouri Tigers. This thing was an embarrassing win for UK in a good way. Missouri, they jumped out 2-0, and that was their only lead of the game. Derek Willis, he is just continuing his hot play. Hits the three out of the corner. And then Isaiah Briscoe, a little defense, scraps on the floor, loose ball. Jamal Murray picks it up, goes in for the dunk. And now the lead's 5, and it would grow and grow and grow in a hurry. Tyler Eulis driving down the lane, going to throw it back over his shoulder. There's Derek Willis wide open, another three-pointer. He's feeling it, right? Well, he's on fire now. The kid is playing in a different universe. The lead is up to 15, and then Eulis going to pull the trigger himself on a three-pointer. Kentucky with an incredible start, down 2-0. They score the next 20-plus points, blowing the game wide open. Great game for the Cats. 88-54 is the final score, and that is how you get some momentum going into Lawrence, Kansas this weekend. Back to you.
All right, a good win for the Cats. Up next for Kentucky, a huge road game against fourth-ranked Kansas. Saturday's game is at 7. It will be on ESPN. Well, the city of Lexington is trying to be proactive after receiving 2 reports of black bear sightings at Jacobson Park. The city says the first person reported seeing 2 bears near the dog park on Tuesday, and then a second call came in yesterday saying that the bears were in the same general area. The city brought in wildlife officials out of Frankfort to investigate. They were not able to find any tracks or any other indications of bears in the park. That's good. They say it is very unlikely that there are bears in Jacobson Park, but the city spokesperson, Susan Straub, says, you know, got to be a little careful here, be sure that it isn't the case.
Okay. Good to know.
Might be a bear out there. All right, we'll be down. Our time this morning is 6:39. How far would you go to get free chicken for a year?
Some people really love their chicken, apparently. A group of people in Lexington camped out overnight to be one of the first few in line at a new chicken joint. Michelle Chamberlain is live in Chevy Chase with more on this. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. Hopefully there's no bears out here because the last early morning camp out I covered was about Big Blue Madness tickets. Today it's about hot chicken. Joella's Hot Chicken in Chevy Chase is opening today, and to get everyone excited about their grand opening, they decided to hand out free chicken to 100 people, but not just free chicken, you'll get free chicken for a whole year. And the line continues to grow this morning. These people came prepared, blankets, hats and all. But Joella's Chicken is a Louisville-based chain, and it's a take on Nashville's fried chicken with some added spice. There's even an option called Fire into Whole. One girl told me it about killed her friend, so keep that in mind when you're trying this spicy chicken out. This new place here in Lexington, and a lot of people out here waiting, including Brandon, a UK student, said, why not wait? Who wouldn't wait for free chicken?
With me being a college student, I thought, why in the world would I not be out here getting a free year's supply of hot chicken?
Good point. It looks like you're doing it in a fun way. Fire, friends?
Absolutely. I've got some of my best friends here with me. A fire, trying to stay warm and just trying to make it through the night just so we could get, obviously, free chicken.
Why Why wouldn't you wait, Bill and Rebecca? This free chicken for 100 people for a whole year equals about $60,000. So there's still more room for people to come up and wait. I feel like there's about 50 or 60 people here so far, and they're all waiting in 20-degree weather for this hot chicken. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
60,000, that's a lot.
And as she was saying there, fire and friends gathered there. A little distraction if you're going down Tates Creek Road this morning over that area of Chevy Chase. So be on the lookout.
It's all about the chicken, I guess, over there. Let's check to see how traffic is moving this morning.
Yeah, here's Officer Dodd with a check of live drive traffic out at 98.1 The Bull. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, right now we're okay. We just had a look at Tates Creek Road. It turned out that was a stalled car just past the circle, not a wreck, and they've already cleared it. So no major issues on Tates Creek. Good news there. Nicholasville Road coming in from Jessamine County, just about one click of the light. Let's get an overall view of what's happening this morning. We'll show you in real time what you can expect as far as traffic flow right now around the city. Really no major issues popping up there. Drive times looking good so far too, even past Todd's Road through the construction zone. But from Nicholasville is about 13 minutes. Paris will take 18. Winchester about 22. Now back to you.
All right, sounds like a good ride for most folks. Thank you, Don. More news coming up on WKYT this morning. Our time right now is 6:42.
We have an interesting story that's coming up. She's lived a very long time, but one woman says this week brought her the scare of her life from this little creature. One the exotic animal who made its way into her bed. Coming up, it looks cute.
She doesn't look too scared about it, does she? Okay, here's what we're going to be dealing with today. A couple of flurries already in the northern zones, but really it's tonight we're going to be watching this front. Could we be expecting accumulation before that really warm weekend? I'll have that up next.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
Looking to fall in love this Valentine's Day? Fall in love with summer at the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Make it a date or bring the entire family. You're going to fall in love with the selection and savings. Shop the latest boats, RVs, and motorsports. Zipline across Rupp Arena with Red River Gorge Zipline. Brought to you by Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers. This year's special guest is everyone's favorite angler, G-Man, Gerald Swindle. Visit the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Brought to you by Lee's Ford Marina.
From simple to exquisite, Sukasa has just the right granite for every style and purpose. Home with a $19.99 granite kitchen and Lexington's largest selection of stone under one roof. Let Sukasa bring your dream home.
It's IHOP's all-you-can-eat pancakes. Sweet, fluffy, buttery stacks of our irresistible buttermilk pancakes for an irresistibly low price. Treat yourself by adding luscious fruit topping. Head into IHOP today for all-you-can-eat pancakes. A delicious reason to come together over breakfast at IHOP.
If you have questions about your on-the-job injury, visit forthepeople.com for more information. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Cash back when you refinance your auto loan with UK Federal Credit Union. Visit betteryourloan.com for more details.
Mamma Mia, Broadway's smash hit musical featuring 22 of ABBA's greatest hits. Mamma Mia, you already know you're gonna love it.
February 4th through 7th at the Lexington Opera House.
Ciao, I'm Sam Dick, inviting WKYT TV viewers to join me on a tour to classic Italy, October 8th to the 16th. We'll cruise the timeless canals of Venice by gondola, tour the Renaissance works of art in Florence, and discover the world-famous landmarks of Rome, including the renowned Colosseum and Trevi Fountain, plus a special visit to Vatican City. All airfare and great hotels included. For your free brochure, call Holiday Vacations at 1-800-826-2266.
Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line. WKYT First Alert Weather is brought to you by Cartown Kia. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Looking into northern zones and also now across the Bluegrass region, a couple of flakes, couple of flurries about to fly on through. I do not expect anything out of this, but just be aware of it. So this is what we're looking at here in Lexington within the next 5 to about 10 minutes. Zoom on in. I'll show you where this is located at this very moment. Rolling through Bourbon County. Paris, you're next in line. Carlisle, you're next in line too. Should be right on the hills. Sharpsburg, North Middletown, and Flemingsburg, another 5 to 15 minutes. If it sticks together, we should see this around the station here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And we're actually located on the western portion of town, or eastern portion rather. Here's the look. There's not much to it, so don't expect much out of this. Just know you could have a couple of flakes, a few flurries flying around. Temperatures are in the teens southbound, 20s elsewhere. We get into the afternoon and actually feels really good. I mean, we're talking 43 degrees. If you're under the sunshine, it feels great. If you're in the clouds, yeah, it looks like that's going to be a bit colder if you're under those clouds. So just keep that in mind. You'll need that coat, especially this morning. But a nice feel overall. We get into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. I would say 9 p.m. to about 10 p.m. You can expect some rain to move in the northern zones. Switches over to snow once that coldest air seeps on in, anywhere from midnight to about 8 a.m. That's your best bet. Could we be seeing accumulation? I think it's likely that we see that in the mountainous regions in southeastern Kentucky there by daybreak tomorrow morning. A coating to 1 inch max out of this. There's not much to this, but still flakes will fly overnight. Let me take you through it. Here's afternoon, 4 p.m. in the 40s. We go into 8, 9 p.m. A couple of sprinkles, light showers to the north. That switches over as that cold air rushes on in. There's midnight. You see bits and pieces of snow showers, but it just continues to pile up in the southeastern zones in those mountains. So just keep in mind, if we're going to be seeing accumulation, it's going to be there for the southeast. That is your best bet. And then it clears out through the day there on Friday, giving way to really nice conditions there heading off towards your weekend. Johnny Nicholson sent this one in. Really neat shot. How cool is that? Yeah, sending those Cardinals down in London, Laurel County. Pretty cool shot too. Doing a little artsy there, and that's Katie Noble. That's a really, really neat shot with the snow. Still left over some of those piles. Let's check out your 7-day forecast. Remember, overnight into tomorrow morning, a couple of flakes here and there. I'd say far east, southeast, best bet to pick up some very light accumulation. Should not be many issues out of this. Saturday and Sunday look great, but next Tuesday is what we need to be watching after overnight and into tomorrow morning, because next Tuesday, 65 degrees. I mean, we're getting close to 70 degrees there on the screen. And that's early February. That is not good. I know a lot of people love that temperature. I love that temperature, but that typically means severe weather. We're already looking at that possibility there coming up next.
But 4 days above 50, that you can't argue with that.
No, you cannot. Really nice weather on the way.
Enjoy that. Then get ready for that, whatever happens there with it once the situation comes along to change it. 6:48 our time now.
An adorable animal usually found in the rainforests of Central and South America. I don't know if you think it's adorable, but
odd-looking thing, but anyway.
Cute somehow. Well, this little guy somehow made its way into a Florida home.
And it gave a 99-year-old woman the scare of her life. The woman was sound asleep and she felt something on her. She woke up and realized it was this animal all curled up and asleep on her chest.
I guess her first impression was that it might be a cat, but when they both got a look at each other, they both freaked out. The lady screamed, the kinkajou took off and went into her attic.
The woman called her daughter and a friend, and they were able to lure this mysterious animal out of the attic using a YouTube video. It was taken to a Miami animal hospital where it was reunited with its owner yesterday. Kinkajous, by the way, look like little monkeys. They're actually in the raccoon family, but that is that is something unusual.
It doesn't quite look like a monkey to me. I don't know what it looks like, but I think it's kind of cute.
Looks like a kinkajou, I guess.
Could be a pet. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think she didn't want to keep it as one. Good to have you along. It's almost 6:50 now, 10 till 7 on WKYT this morning.
We've got some more news straight at you when we come.
Coming up, fallout from Donald Trump's boycott of tonight's GOP debate, how his absence could affect the performance of the other candidates. Plus, could Niagara Falls be temporarily turned off in the U.S.? More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Closings on WKYT are brought to you by Kentucky Utilities, Be Dry, Morehead State University, Lextran, and Kroger.
1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and say, oh, 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 oh.
When you flip on the lights, you're probably not thinking about us. But at Kentucky Utilities, we're always thinking about our customers. Planning to meet your future energy needs. Exploring renewable energy options. Adapting to constantly changing regulations. We're always thinking about ways to bring you safe, reliable energy while keeping your rates among the lowest in the nation. So you can keep thinking about what matters most.
Imagine our city as one big machine and all the moving parts that keep it humming along. Lextran keeps more of those parts moving than most of us realize.
Unless the conditions are extremely bad, we don't stop. We run every day, including holidays.
So whether you ride the bus or not, you can count on the fact that many of the people you count on Lextran.
40 cents off a gallon. That's what I'm talking about.
I got 60.
70? Oh, yeah! Oh! How much did you save? $1 a gallon.
Big savings with fuel points at Kroger. Now that's something to celebrate.
Meredith and her crew are having some serious fun.
Oh, geez! What is going on here?
It's always unexpected.
We never know, right?
You are good. And totally unpredictable.
It's only vodka. You gotta spill the beans. Yes, Meredith.
The Meredith Vieira Show.
It's really good.
I'm feeling at home here. Every weekday.
Weekdays at 2 on the CW Lexington.
Good morning. Welcome back in WKYT this morning on the air, 6:53 right now, and it has been a tough couple of days down in Adair County. 4 people were killed when a house exploded there.
The state police say the victims are Mitchell and Lori Coomer, their 1-year-old granddaughter, and Stephen Keltner. They think all 4 were inside the home when it exploded and caught fire. Coomer's son was also in the home at the time and survived with only minor injuries. The community gathered for an impromptu service to pray for the 4 victims and their families last night. Investigators still not sure what caused the explosion, but they do not think it's anything suspicious.
A woman accused of leaving a suspicious package outside of a Lexington elementary school is going to be facing a judge today. Sharon Melbourne is charged with terroristic threatening. Police say surveillance video shows her putting a fake weapon of mass destruction on the school's property. A school administrator found the device near a dumpster outside the school. Police will not say what was in the box, but they said that no one was ever in any danger. Donald Trump still refusing to attend tonight's GOP debate in Iowa amid an ongoing feud with the host of the debate, Fox News. Instead, the Republican presidential frontrunner continues to promote a fundraiser for veterans that is set to take place at Drake University at the exact same time. Trump's chief rival, Ted Cruz, is proposing the two take part in a one-on-one debate this Saturday in Sioux City.
The leader of an armed group is joining federal officials in Oregon and asking those still occupying a federal wildlife refuge to go home. Ammon Bundy made the statement through his attorney following his initial court appearance. Bundy and several others were arrested Tuesday during a violent traffic stop in which one person was killed. Other peaceful arrests have followed since, as still other protesters have been allowed to leave. Today marks the 30th anniversary of the Challenger disaster, in which 7 astronauts died in an explosion of their space shuttle. Families of the lost crew members will gather with NASA during a morning ceremony at the Kennedy Space Center. Scott McAuliffe, the son of schoolteacher Krista McAuliffe, will be on hand there. A potbelly pig gets to ride in style. He was picked up Monday by police in Pell City, Alabama. The pig's name is Otis, and he was found running loose out on the road. He's cute. Photos of Otis quickly went viral on social media. Police dropped him off at animal control. Cameras were rolling when Otis was reunited with his owner.
Okay, the pig got out there in Alabama. 6:55 right now. Check out the latest anywhere, anytime on WKYT.com. Micah says we could have a little mix, maybe some flurries into tonight and tomorrow. It's much more likely in the southeastern portions of the state, but we have all the details and we're keeping you updated on air and online. After that, a nice weekend warm-up out there. So check out Micah's page anytime. You get all of the latest weather updated. Governor Governor Bevin held a conference call with university presidents last night talking about his proposed cuts to higher education and how he wants to base funding on performance going forward. Some of the presidents have been communicating with their faculties and staffs about the road ahead. Our web poll finds most support the governor's proposed budget, which makes $650 million in cuts and puts more than $1 billion toward pension shortfalls. The Cats jumped out early, didn't look back last night. They beat Missouri 88-54. It could be a tougher contest Saturday. Kentucky faces the number 4 ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Kentucky.com follows up on these unconfirmed bear sightings at Jacobson Park in Lexington. The state is casting some doubts on that, but you can't be too careful. And CBS This Morning is coming up shortly. They're getting ready to go there at the Broadcast Center in New York. They'll have the latest from around the world. We'll have local updates. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And for the latest, WKYT.com.
43 later on this afternoon. It's one of those pretty nice afternoons. A couple flakes or flurries this morning, but for the most part, we're watching overnight and into tomorrow morning for possibility of some accumulation southeastern zones.
All right. Nobody's more up to date than you. Thank you for being with us.
Bye-bye.